Let's work with Google Calendar invites a little bit more in depth, and I'm going to show you how you can once again create a workflow using calendar invites for events that you might have in your school or in your personal life. So I'm going to come to the 20th here, and I'm going to click on that. And you notice when I click on it, because I'm in month view, it's going to create an all-day event for me. So in order to get to where I can edit this, I'm going to click on more options here, and then notice that I can add a title. So we're just going to call this group meet, and instead of an all-day event, I'm going to uncheck this, and I'm going to make it an after-school meeting. So I'm going to come down here at 3:30, and we're going to make it last till 5. I know that's a long meeting, but bear with me here. So now that I have this set up, and I don't want it to repeat, I can add some different types of information here. So for example, we're going to create this in Jeff's room. If I wanted to meet off campus, it would actually allow me to pull in a place which Google Maps would then be able to map. I can add a hangout to this, so this is really important. So if you're going to meet with a group of individuals that are not necessarily all in the same location, I can schedule a hangout here if I wanted to. I can turn on my notifications here, so you notice this, and this is where I can create, add it to a calendar. So I'm going to call this Jeff's 8th grade science. I'm meeting with my science team, and here I can just type in a description. So talk about end of year. All right. So I've got all of this different information in here that I've created. Now the next thing I need to do is add my guests, and this is where I think it gets really powerful. So I can add in myself here. So I'm going to add in a different account here. You notice what it does is it puts me as a guest. I can also add in others here. So I'm going to just add in student 4 as one of my guests. But this is where we bring the tools together. I'm going to actually enter in students here, and what you'll notice is that it will actually pull my contact group that I created in an earlier lesson. So I'm able to pull multiple individuals in. Now if it's just 2 or 3, it's not a big deal, but let's say your meeting has 20 people. So entering all 20 people individually becomes quite difficult. So I'm going to click on this, and you notice that it just throws all of those students in at one time. Now, one of the other things that I can do here is I can actually allow students to modify events. So I'm just the person who's in charge of setting up this meeting, but I want to give other people the ability to add information here to the description, change the meeting room, those types of things. I can give them to the ability to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on save, and what you're going to notice is that it's going to say, first off, do you want to send invitations to guests? And I'm going to say yes. Here's why. Because what it's going to do then is it's going to send them an email that says, hey, Jeff has invited you to an event. So I'm going to go ahead and click on send, and that sends that out. And then you're going to notice is that here it is, it's a group meet. Because I sent it to my other calendar, you notice I have 2 different event meets here. Okay, so I notice that if I turn off I've got my 8th grade science, but I've also got my personal calendar here. And I want you to notice something. I'm going to go to my week view here, and I'm going to go back 1 week. And what you're going to, oops, that went to January, February, sorry. It's going to go, and it's going to show you this invite is not a solid color here. It's actually a filled in color, and that's because this is referencing my other calendar. So it's referencing my calendar of my personal account. So it's showing that I'm going to this, but this actually, when you see an event like this that is not completely shaded in with a solid color, it means that you've been invited but you haven't accepted yet. Now I want to go back and show you what this looks like then once somebody's accepted. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to accept that meeting on another account, and then we'll be back. So now that I've accepted that invite here from my personal account, it's showing up that that's accepted. Now here's what gets really cool. So I can go back into this piece right here, and I can actually see who's accepted. It says, yeah, Jeff Cruz has said yes, he's coming to this event. Now, I'm not getting the same response that I'd like to. So I've got several folks that haven't responded yet. So let me show you how you can take and you can continue to push out information to this group. So I'm going to go back into my edit, and notice now that I've got this running kind of total of who's coming. So Jeff is yes. Nobody else has said no. So I can actually come up here to this little icon here that now shows up, 7 guests, 1 yes, 6 waiting. If I click on it, what it will allow me to do is allow me to kind of push something out, right, to the people that haven't responded yet. So I still haven't heard blah, 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 blah from you. I can send that back to them. They're going to get another email message from me saying, hey, please let me know. Because if only 1 out of 7 people can attend, then I may want to change that meeting time and those kinds of things. So it really allows you the opportunity to take and edit these events in a much more detailed way. I'm going to click on save, and I'm going to await the rest of the individuals to respond. So that's using Google Calendar to create notifications for meetings and such.